Alright, these are the guided notes for statistical questions, which we started talking about a little bit earlier. This just goes a little bit more in depth and gives some examples. So, statistics is the study of analysis of data collection. A statistical question is an inquiry that collects data with some degree of variability and states a population. Okay, so we have some examples of statistical questions and non-statistical questions. So how many minutes do students in your class study each week? Students in your class is a population, and we have lots of minutes in a week, so there is your variability. What were the student scores on the math test? Student would be the population, and scores would be variability, because you could have a lot of different scores. And then here's some examples of non-statistical questions. How many minutes did Dave watch television yesterday? That is pretty specific. There's only one right answer to that, so that's not statistical. And then how many days are in January? There's 31 days in January. We know that. We don't have to collect any data, so that is not statistical. So take a second or two and just write a statistical question that you might want to ask the class, and then write a non-statistical question. You can pause the video and then unpause it, and we'll pick up down here. So for down here, we are just going to answer yes or no if it's statistical or not, and I'm going to do every other one, and you should do the ones in between. So how many students are in this class? That is not statistical, because again, there's only one answer. How many sports does the average 6th grader play? Yes, that is statistical, because we could have multiple different answers. How much money did each person in our class earn last week? How much did each person in our class earn last week? Yes, we could have multiple different answers, and we have a population. Number 7, how many people at school are wearing red today? No, because we could go out and we could just count, and that would be the end of it. Number 9, how many inches of rain did each city in the U.S. get yesterday? Yes, we could collect that data. We're talking about each city in the U.S. and inches of rain. So there's a lot of different variability, and there's a population. So go ahead and do the even ones, and then we'll check in at the end. On the back side, again, create a different statistical question from the one that you put down on the front for the students in your class, and then we can collect the data. So you're going to write a statistical question here. Maybe check with a person around you just to make sure that it is statistical. And then I want you to ask somewhere between 5 to 10 people what their answer is for that question. And then did you learn anything from the data you collected? And then go ahead down here and in your own words, what are the differences between a statistical and a non-statistical question? I have repeated it multiple times. It was on our spiral review, and it is on the front. But just make sure that you write it in your own words down here.